Hello, my name's Eric and welcome to this week's video lesson. Today's topic is called How Are We Doing? And it's taken from Unit 3.6 in your book. In this unit, we're going to look at lots of different aspects of a country. And before we look at this one, I have another country for you. So I'm going to show you some clues, and I want you to try to guess which country it is. So first clue, it has a population of 83 million people. Sausages. Sausages are its national dish. It's also famous for beer. This country even has festivals to celebrate beer. This country has a very powerful and popular female leader. This country invented the printing press for printing books. They use the euro, that's the currency in this country. It has many famous landmarks, including this castle. This very famous physicist came from this country. It's also famous for its cars. It exports a lot of cars. And it's very famous for football. I'm sure you know what it is. This country is Germany. So these are many aspects of Germany. This makes a profile of Germany. They are the things that we identify with Germany. So let's look at our goals today. So our goals are to explore different aspects of a country's identity. You're going to research and present information about a country. And this is all to help develop a sense of global citizenship and to see how countries are interrelated with each other. So again, this whole chapter has been about the UK. So we're using the UK as our example again. So if the UK were a person, so we'll have a profile of the UK as if they were a human. Now these boxes are numbered. I'm not going to follow all the numbers because of the way the page is displayed on the screen. But we will start at number 1. So number 1, if the UK were a person, the UK would be over 40. There are more people aged over 40 than under 40 in the UK. So here's a population pyramid. We can see the largest age on this pyramid is between 50 and 54. But the UK is young at heart. Almost 1 in 4 of the population is under 20 years of age. So that's 15 million people who are children and teenagers. If the UK were a person, it would be smart. The Industrial Revolution began here. So it began in Britain in the 18th century and then spread to America and other parts of the world. Also, the inventor of the internet was British. Tim Berners-Lee invented the World Wide Web back in 1989. The structure of DNA was worked out here. So James Watson, an American, and Francis Crick, a British man, discovered the double helix shape of DNA at a London university in 1953. And there are lots more examples. Okay, we're going to jump to number 12. The UK is still a little bit anxious. It has things it worries about. The UK loses sleep over some things like how to improve healthcare, about terrorism, and also how the government can pay back all the money it has borrowed over the years. This is a big issue at the moment with Brexit. The UK owes a lot of money, especially to EU countries. But it's doing quite fine. The UK, in fact, is the world's 7th largest economy. So in other words, it comes 7th for the amount of wealth or money it produces each year. We measure a country's wealth by its GDP. That means gross domestic product. That's the total value of all the goods and services produced in a year. Now I have a short video clip showing us the top 10 GDP countries over time. Our video is going to start at 1990 and continue up until 2017. So keep your eye on where the United Kingdom is and some other countries as you watch. So as you saw in that video clip, the UK's position in GDP in the world changed over time, but it stayed mainly in around 5th or 6th place. So the UK is still one of the wealthiest countries in the world. Next, it buys things from other countries. For example, the UK buys oil, coal, gas, cars, steel, goods like iPads and computers, and lots of food and clothing and services too. So these things are all called imports. An import is both a verb and a noun. As a verb, it means to bring goods and services into a country from abroad for sale. And as a noun, it means the goods and services that are brought in from abroad for sale. The UK is also talented. It has world-class music, fashion, and media, computer games, and more. So here are some examples, maybe you recognize some of them, that all come from the UK. The UK is sporty, world-class in some sports, particularly soccer, could do better in some others. The UK loves things like jeans and trainers. They like a cup of tea. Fish and chips is the popular national dish. Ice cream vans, and they're very fond of their animals too. So all of these things make up the British culture. The UK is also loved by tourists. Tourists come from other countries, around 30 million come a year to visit famous places such as Big Ben, as we see in this picture. So we saw before that the UK imports things from other countries, but it also sells things such as oil, cars, chemicals, aircraft, medical drugs. And it also gives services such as banking, insurance, entertainment, and tourism. So these are examples of the UK's exports. So an import is when we buy something into the country. Export is when we sell something out of the country. Here we have a breakdown of the UK's top exports by sector. So number 1 is machinery, number 2 vehicles, cars, number 3 pharmaceuticals, that means medical drugs, and so on. And the UK is also hard-working. The UK works in factories, on farms, producing things to sell, but mostly offers services. So most jobs in the UK are giving services like teaching, looking after you when you're ill, and serving you in a cafe. So in these pictures, we have a variety of different jobs. So here's 2 photographs taken in the UK. They're to show a contrast of different areas of the UK. So we said before that overall the UK is doing fine compared with many other countries. But it's not the same story all over the UK. There are big differences in different places. Some areas are wealthy, with people earning a lot of money. Others are run down, and people may not be able to find any work at all. So look at these 2 photographs. One of the 2 places looks quite wealthy or rich. Which one? And what is your evidence? And the other place is quite run down. That means it's in a bad condition. It's not being taken care of. How can you tell? So pause the video, think about your answers, and then we will check. Okay, one of the 2 places looks quite wealthy. Which one? Well, I hope you spotted it is X. X looks wealthy. The houses or apartments look modern and well cared for. The boats indicate an affluent area. Affluent means having a lot of money or wealthy. So these boats are not fishing boats. These are boats owned by quite rich people who use them for leisure. So the other place, it's quite run down. This is place Y. So if we look at place Y, we see the shops look permanently shut. We can see the shutters are down, and the buildings look quite dirty. Everything looks very uncared for. Everything is shuttered. That means their shutters are closed. The shutters are the metal gates that protect shop windows and doors. So this shows us that there's been no business here for a long time. The shops don't have their signs anymore, and there are for sale signs up. So this is a sign that the economy is not doing well here. So this is a contrast of 2 different places in one country. So now it's your turn. You're going to create a profile of a country of your choice, similar to the one in the UK on page 56. You have to research the information about your chosen country. Then you're going to create a poster. You can do it on paper or on PowerPoint. At the moment, I suggest we just do a draft, and when we return to school, we can work in groups to create these posters together. The topics may be the same as the ones in the example about the UK, but you may add different topics depending on the country of your choice. Add illustrations, make it pretty, and people will want to look at it. So let's review the main points today. First of all, GDP means gross domestic product. Gross means total, domestic means in your country, and product is what you have produced. So it is the total value of all the goods and services produced by a country in a year. So it basically means the amount of money earned by a country in a year. Imports are goods and services bought from another country. Exports are goods and services sold to another country. So here's a diagram. Import is what we bring in. Export is what we send out. So that is the end of this week's lesson. Thank you for your attention. Take care, and I'll see you again next week. Goodbye.